Hi, my name is Ashley Hollis. I am CBS 27 Big Brother reigning winner. And yes, I am also an attorney by trade. ESQ, baby. And you are tuned in to Rolling Out.
Hello and welcome to Rolling Out's Justice for All. My name is Portia Monique, and today I'll be your host. And today joining us is Attorney Hollis, ESQ attorney. Let's get into that. But she also outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and outnegotiated 15 competitors to make history on national television. Now she's breaking it all down with us. And did I say Georgetown Law School grad, certified yogi, culture commentator, and the $750,000 champion of Big Brother season 27? Ashley Hollis, attorney, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and I love the energy.
Absolutely. So let's talk Big Brother. Strategy, mental game. You're an attorney. Georgetown. Break it down for us. You were nominated in the very first week, yet you still won it all. At what point did you realize that I can actually take this thing?
Ooh, I would say definitely the moment, I would say week 6 when Riley went home. Riley was a very controversial house guest, as many people have probably seen in all the different networks, TMZ and everything. He had a lot of drama, okay? And when
Mhm.
he left, he was such a strong competitor. I knew, okay, I think I can win this because I am not on anybody's radar. I went from the biggest threat, biggest target week 1 to now I'm kind of not necessarily calling the shots, but I'm definitely pulling strings behind the scenes. Like I was a big motivation and big reason why Riley even went up in the first place. I really worked hard and pushed that week to make it happen and come to fruition. And when he
Yeah.
got evicted, that whole other side of the house crumbled and my side was able to just rise. So that was definitely the moment when it hit me I could really win this game because I'm really being underestimated, which was my
Yeah.
strategy.
I love that strategy, being underestimated, because that always comes out in your favor, especially when you're a lawyer and you know how to pull those strings and play those games. So I love that for you. Now, in your final speech, you talked about strategically downplaying your brilliance.
Yes.
As a lawyer, how hard was it not to lead with that dominance?
Oh, it was definitely very difficult, especially because there was a lot of men in the house that would talk down to me because they thought I was a little,
Yeah.
dumb, a little flamboyant.
Yeah.
Keyword, they thought. They didn't know, they didn't pick up on it because I was acting, I was embodying the character Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. And I feel like it really played into my favor because people would tell me information or accidentally spill things that they just thought I wouldn't pick up on. But as an attorney, we're very analytical. We are picking up on every single key little small detail, no matter how minute. We're paying attention and we're also very forward thinking. And so I
Yeah.
feel like that allowed me to always have a step ahead on my house guests because I was
Mhm.
always thinking ahead and I was always thinking of different paths to get to the end.
I love that for you. And I love that you outsmarted them all. And that just goes to show that women really are the smartest beings out here. Listen.
Period. I feel like a lot of my house guests, especially even my runner-up Vinny, they thought more emotional. They made decisions based off of emotion, and I made decisions every single time based off of strategy. Even if
Yeah.
I knew someone didn't like me and I didn't like them, I couldn't stand them. I still
Mhm.
made the effort to have a conversation with him and try to build those building blocks to pivot
Mhm.
in the game each time. And I think a big thing about my game was I constantly was able to adapt. And I feel like I owe that to my background. I feel like growing up in such a culturally diverse and not diverse community, both of those experiences helped me be able to easily adapt to different cultures, different people. Georgetown's obviously a PWI. Less than
Mhm.
2% of attorneys are black. And so I feel like understanding how to shine when you need to shine, but also be able to dim your light to let others shine and let others feel better is a
Mhm.
key part of being a lawyer because when you're at a big firm, you have a lot of big personalities and you have a lot of people that are the boss and you have partners and you have to, stay in line and you have to be okay with knowing your role. And I feel like I applied that to the game.
Absolutely. And it paid off tremendously. So, congratulations again for winning. Now, was there ever a moment in the house when your legal instincts kicked in and directly saved your game?
Ooh, yes. I would say actually a really pivotal moment was the week Will went home. So that was about week 10, I would say.
Hmm.
That was a really key moment because I was on the block next to Will, the most likable guy in the house. If anybody doesn't know, Will is 50 plus. He's got swag, he's got charisma. He just is that guy. Everybody liked him, everybody respected him. And I was sitting next to him and I was looking around like, how can I pivot in this game? How am I able to convince people why they should evict him, even though they shouldn't? He is
Hmm.
less of a threat than me. He had a hurt knee. He couldn't even compete in the competitions. So
Hmm.
my lawyer skills helped me realize, okay, I need to build counter arguments against him. What are things that I can kind of alienate about him that can make me be perceived as less of a threat and more of an ally? And so I was able to see that those counter arguments, which were that, hello, he's so likable, that's bad for your game because if you're sitting next to him, you're going to go home. This is a game
Right.
for $750,000. And also, he's injured, but okay, even though he's injured and can't compete, don't you want an ally that can compete? Because
Yeah.
I can win for a veto. I can win a veto for you and take you
Hmm.
off the block. Or maybe I can
Hmm.
win the next HOH to keep you safe. Can he do that?
Hmm.
And so
Right.
it was taking those things about him that technically were things that should make him less of a threat and being able to pivot that and make him seem like more of a threat, which that's what you do as an attorney. When you look at a case or you get a deal, you have to see what are counter arguments. What is the other party? What makes them weaker than you? You know,
Yeah.
how can I get them on my side? How can I get a jury on my side? And so I
Yeah.
use that to my advantage.
Use it to your advantage, to your $750,000 advantage. Okay. And aside from the money, why would you want to do a national TV show like this?
Oh my gosh, I feel like definitely for the experience. I feel like I loved being okay, maybe saying I love being an attorney was a little bit of stretch. I love the money of being an attorney, but also also I feel like I worked really hard for my degree, like in all
Yeah.
seriousness. It definitely
Hmm.
took a lot to get through law school and then pass the bar after law school, as we see Kim Kardashian, she's completed it, but the bar, what people don't realize is a lot of people don't pass. Like a lot, it
Yeah.
is statistically speaking, the percentage pass rate is very low. It's not just Kim Kardashian who fails. It's literally sometimes half or over half of people.
Hmm.
So I think that was a big feat, but I really was looking for a new opportunity, a new pivot. I definitely have always been passionate about entertainment. I've always been passionate about television or hosting and speaking. And I feel like there's so many different facets to me. And I'm so young. I just turned 26 last week. So I really just wanted a new life experience.
Yeah.
And a new pathway. And I'll always have my degree. Like my parents always said, a degree is something that nobody can take away from you. Okay. Once you gain it, you have it. You can always go back and you have that as a kind of stepping stone and
Yeah.
foundation. And so
Mhm.
I feel like I always had these other aspirations and dreams, but I need
Yeah.
to get that educational goal first. That was really important to me because a lot of people dive right into entertainment and it sometimes
Yeah.
doesn't work out for them, and then
Mhm.
they have no plan B.
Fallback. Yeah.
And so, yeah, they have no fallback, and that was really
Mhm.
important to me. And my parents always instilled in me about the value of education. So I got my fallback, and I can always fall back. Okay, I can always
Congratulations. And you
now.
got a pretty big cushion to fall back on. So, I mean, that is no small feat. So, congratulations again on winning the season. Congratulations again on outmaneuvering, outsmarting, outwitting all of those people, even a charming 50-year-old that didn't really have a reason to get kicked off, but you got him kicked off anyway. So, congratulations on that. Now, watching the season back now, what move are you most proud of? Is it with the 50-year-old? I'm not quite sure. And what would you undo if you could?
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll answer undo because this was like a viral moment online was me changing my vote. Week four, I said I evict Kelly and I meant to evict Jimmy, and then I went back in to change my vote, and I guess that's never been done before. And I like broke the internet. Apparently, I was trending on Twitter. I like found all of this out after. I had no idea it was that big of
Yeah,
a deal.
yeah.
But turns out it was a really big deal, but people thought it was funny and it went viral. So I don't know if I should regret it, but I do because it was truly a mistake. I'm telling you, we're sleep deprived in that house. Sometimes you're getting 4 hours of sleep.
Mm,
And you got the bright Hollywood camera lights on and you're being filmed. And so it's a lot. And I actually made a mistake, but people thought it was funny. So I guess it's fine. But I would take that back. And I would say proudest moment watching back, probably just how I clocked everything. They talk about that a lot online. They were like, did Ashley have a genie in a bottle? Because how was she clocking every single alliance, every single thing? She just was so on point. And I guess I was the only house guest to like literally be on point about everything going on around me without even having confirmation. But I just
Mm-hmm.
owe that to my lawyer skills. I feel like we're able
Yeah.
to sniff out everything. I have a very good read on people always.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that helped me out in the game. But I was surprised to see how on point I was about clocking things. Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
these two are working together. Oh, these two are and it was actually all true. That
Yeah.
surprised me.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, last question on Big Brother. How has winning it changed how people take you seriously in rooms you now enter as a media personality?
Yes, I actually feel like people take me more seriously now, which is shocking. I think we're in a time where social media and like TV and all of those things are kind of dominating. They're dominating Hollywood. They're dominating many facets of entertainment. You're seeing now influencers in movies and influencers. Addison Rae got nominated for a Grammy, and you're kind of seeing the pivot between social media and Hollywood and kind of how those are starting to align more. And I
Mhm.
think also my speech, my final speech, which also went viral, I feel like helps people take me more seriously because people are like, dang, she really switched up. Like she's very intelligent. And so I feel like since that was the last thing people saw, literally, because that was on the finale, it made a lot of people see me in a new light. And I feel like it also backed up, like, okay, she is an attorney. Like she's a
Yeah.
Georgetown law grad. She's very intelligent. And so I feel like having both facets now, the entertainment and also like obviously a Georgetown law degree actually helps people take me more seriously, I find. So
Yes.
appreciate it. And I didn't embarrass myself on TV. Like I didn't do anything crazy. I was very
Thank you.
cool. Yeah, literally. I feel like some people get on reality TV and they do crazy stuff for the camera. One thing about me, I'm not like that. I'm true to myself and I feel like I stayed true to myself the whole process. So I feel like I don't have anything to be embarrassed about or not proud of, you know?
Right. I love it. Well, congratulations again. I appreciate you for not getting on reality TV and embarrassing yourself because there are so many moments and so many people that do. And so thank you so much for representing in that aspect. Now, speaking of you being this brilliant, intelligent lawyer, Bay, I don't know if you put Bay at the end of your name, but lawyer Bay, let's break down in your lawyer tone. Let's break down some of these legal hot topics of today, some of the hottest Black culture headlines. So, of course, I was advised that we're going to stay away from the hottest because people are going to be like, "Well, how come they didn't talk about P Diddy and 50 Cent and da da da?" We're staying away from that, okay, guys? But we are going to talk about several other ones that are hot right now.
Yes, yes.
And
Sorry
you
about that, guys. I do know Quincy Combs and he's lovely, so we are staying away
we're
from that.
staying away from that. Okay. Now, Jason Derulo, his dismissed sexual harassment case. What do you make of that? That has sparked widespread debate from legal perspectives. What does dismissed really mean for public perception versus courtroom reality?
Yeah, so dismissed typically means that either the judge could not find enough facts to have a case go further. It could mean that, two of the parties, someone didn't submit documents on time. But typically, it's typically those core facts were not there to support even going along with any conclusion, whether it's guilty, not guilty, there was not enough information to even build a case, basically, about it.
Mhm.
Or it could mean that somebody missed a deadline. It could mean a variety of different things. I would have to look a little bit further into this to see exactly why, but those are usually the two key aspects that cause a case to be dismissed. And it depends also what court filing, like what state, if that person could even refile again.
Mhm.
So it just really depends.
Okay. Let's talk about Wendy and Eddie Osefo. So they've been in the media for quite some time now. They're dominating the social feeds. What in the heck is going on with them? Their 40 credit card situation, different names, legally speaking. What are some of the most common misunderstandings that people have about these type of financial crimes and specifically weigh in on theirs, like what is going on with their case, and do you think what do you think the outcome will be?
Well, The key thing about federal cases is typically once they file, they already have their case built. A federal court and federal judges are never going to go to, indict someone with a filing without already having the facts. So that's why you typically see in many federal cases or prosecutions, they typically get time. Obviously, you saw Diddy got time. You've seen Jen from Salt Lake City. She got time. So, like I said, once the feds come for you, they already got you most of the time. They already have all the information they need. Usually, they've been building and building and building for months and months and months before they even file. And that's why sometimes people think they, get away with things. Not saying Wendy did or didn't, but, you see that these cases take a long time to build. Jen, she got, indicted and then nothing even happened for 2 years later because they're building their case. So unfortunately, when the feds come for you, they already got you. I think we're going to be seeing her face some time unless she can absolutely prove without a doubt that this didn't happen, which typically they're not going to file a case even without already having the facts. So I unfortunately think we're going to see Wendy and her husband do some time. If you
Yeah.
remember Teresa Giudice and her husband,
Yeah.
they also did the time. So
Yeah.
it's very hard. It's a very small record that feds don't win their case in some
Yeah.
aspect. You may
Mhm.
get off with less time, but I think we're going to be seeing her do some time,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Reminds me of an underestimated woman who is talking to her man and she already got the facts, but she's gonna ask you, she's gonna give you a chance to defend it, but she already knows. So you better either come with the truth or just go ahead and do that time. And or in the case of a relationship, just go on and leave. Because we already know. Women already know. So just don't lie, right?
Absolutely. And I think the problem is there is that motive there when
Yeah.
you look at the facts. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. Only God knows what happened.
Right.
Okay. But the feds have a pretty strong case against her. They even apparently, I remember I was researching into this. They have photos. They have photos to prove that whatever she filed, I can't remember exactly, it was a piece of jewelry or something. They have photos of her wearing it after the filing. And then I think
Okay.
another problem is they filed with different insurance companies
Oh,
for money
yeah.
as well when I was reading into it.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I read, they have a very strong case.
Yeah.
And even if I read it and they didn't have a strong case, like I said, when the feds come for you, they already have everything they need typically. It's really just you being able, we live in America.
Yeah.
Innocent until proven guilty,
Innocent until proven guilty.
but it's not looking good for my
Yeah.
girl Wendy. And I love Real House of Potomac, so I hate to say it.
Oh Lord. And just you do the crime, you do the time. y- that's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about that. Let's talk about Pharrell firing back at DEI criticism that
Okay.
touched a nerve across corporate America. What legal pressures are companies actually feeling right now around DEI, and what's performative versus what's policy driven?
Okay, so me personally, I think DI is amazing. I can actually speak from personal experience because Georgetown was really under heat from the Trump administration, and so was my law firm and maybe 20 other law firms for supporting and funding certain immigration, non-for-profits and doing work like that. And here's the thing. DEI, I feel like people get very confused. I think they think it means putting people in rooms that they're not supposed to be in. That is
Mhm.
not what DEI is. DEI is already having qualified people who already meet those standards, giving them the opportunity to be
Mhm.
in the rooms they already qualify for.
Mhm.
That's just the reality. Georgetown obviously has a huge diversity program, but let's keep it 100. Still, the blacks at Georgetown, we are still less than 8% of the 100% population. And Georgetown and Harvard are two of the most diverse law schools in the nation. Fortunately and unfortunately, because like I said, the percentage is still not that high.
Right.
And everybody I know who went to Georgetown had all of the same statistics as everybody else, if not more. It's
Yeah.
really about giving these people an opportunity, And
Mhm.
so, and for me, I don't really care if companies and corporations, if it's performative or not. If we are getting people in rooms that they are supposed to be in and rightfully should be in and giving them platforms to succeed and excel, I think that is the more critical and important pressing matter
Yeah,
than whether or not it's performative. Because the reality is, I'm sure some of it is performative,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, if we are getting results from these actions, that's all that matters. I mean, CBS, they put a diversity program in place, I think around 2020, 2021,
hmm
and you saw the first Black winner happen that season. Okay.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first Black woman outside of Tamar, congratulations, Tamar, she won. Shout out to her celebrity Big Brother. But out of regular Big Brother, 20 years of being on TV, we
yeah.
had our first Black winner only after these policies were put in place.
Isn't
So,
that something?
and now it's been 5 or 6 years since, they had to cast a certain amount of, Black, Hispanic, Indian, etc. And now
hmm
you're looking at, I'm the third Black female winner. So
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, whether these corporations are doing it for the right reasons or not, we're seeing results. We're seeing people of color being put in amazing positions because of these policies. And I think that is the greater success because even in law, less than
absolutely.
50% of are Black. Let's
Mm.
put these people in rooms that they already should be in. Let's not make it harder. So
Yeah.
I have to push back on Pharrell talking about performativism because, you
hmm
know, yes, I'm sure some people it might be performative, maybe, but also
hmm
let's also give grace and praise for the companies who are doing it because they actually want to do it, and us seeing results in the Black community and in
Yeah,
people of color in general because we are seeing results. That the facts
yeah.
are facts. We're seeing them put in amazing positions. Mara Brock, look at her deal with Netflix.
Love it.
Tyler Perry's deal with Netflix.
Love
Okay,
it.
so diversity, and guess what? These shows are doing numbers. Okay,
Numbers. Number
numbers.
one. Yes, 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 yes.
Want to see Black culture. People want to see Black people succeed in entertainment. So whether
Yeah,
it's because of a DEI initiative or not, the
right.
reality is our stories matter just as much. So
Amen. Our stories matter. Okay, last but not least, certainly Darius McCrary's recent release from jail. It reignited conversations about celebrity and the justice system. As an attorney, what's something the public consistently gets wrong about these situations?
yes. So I believe so. This is the one where the defendant accepted a conviction without explicitly admitting guilt, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen this happen with the Central Park Five, where many of them were pressured to admit guilt who were actually innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see that this is a huge problem, specifically in the Black community. Us not having the correct legal representation to understand the terms that you're accepting when it comes to deals, and also kind of the corruptness of the legal structure, the pressure of federal prosecutors, regular prosecutors to have a conviction, on their record and for trial. And I think this is a huge issue and inequity that we're seeing because people don't have
Mm-hmm.
the right representation. And so
Yeah.
that's why I think it's so important. Legal representation and having good legal representation is important.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, just having a court appointed attorney is not the best typically because they don't necessarily have your best interests. And even if they did, they have so many cases. They're overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, these prosecutors are overworked.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, defendant people are appointed attorneys are overworked. And
Appointed
so they
attorney. Yeah.
don't have, yeah, they don't have enough time to even give the case what it needs. And so
Yeah.
you see people accepting, things they don't even understand the terms. They don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what they're accepting to. Sometimes they're told, if you do this, if you accept this plea, you'll get 3 years. And if you go to trial, you could get 30. And
Yeah.
so they take these deals thinking they're good, but what they
Yeah.
don't realize is when you do accept a conviction, it's on your record.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that really just boils down to getting the right legal representation, supporting non-for-profits that help place people with actually amazing, strong attorneys that can, be an amazing representation to them and do their cases justice.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Ashley, we're gonna have to have you back for everything. Hot topics. We're gonna have you back to find out what is it that you're gonna do next. So with this $750,000 massive new platform and credibility in multiple industries, what kind of empire are you building next?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that question. I would absolutely love to come back. I definitely want to get into hosting, whether it's like interviewing people, red carpets, things like that. I love to yap, as you can tell. So I love that. I've always been passionate about that. I used to want to be a broadcast journalist, but then I just felt like law was like the guaranteed path to, everything else. And and so I decided to go that route. But as you see, so many attorneys are now broadcast, journalists, and they're on
Yeah.
TV and they're doing corresponding and things like that. Also acting. I started an acting class. I'm getting my headshots this weekend. So I'm
Wonderful.
hoping to, get into acting, whether it's commercial acting, theatrical, performing, everything. I also sing. I'm currently working on a song. So I am looking forward to getting into everything and obviously building social media. All the above. All the above.
All of the things. I love that for you. You're very creative. Maybe too creative for a lawyer, but that was the launching pad because now you are here and you are doing all of the things. Let us know, where can we find you? Where can we follow you? Where can we get in touch with you? Where can we watch you? All of those things.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Ashley Hollis underscore ASHLEYHOLLIS underscore. And that is also my username for TikTok and Twitter. And I also just started a YouTube because I plan on posting covers to songs and things like that. And I believe my username is Ashley underscore Hollis for that one. But everything's linked in my Instagram bio. So if you follow me at Ashley Hollis underscore, you'll see everything there.
Ashley, thank you so much for being proof that brilliance, discipline, and strategy still win in every arena. So keep up the great work and trust, we know that this is only the beginning for you. We look forward to seeing you on so many different platforms. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Portia, and thank you to Rolling Out. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you. This is Justice for All, and I'm your host, Portia Monique. Take care, guys. Till next time.